out and sign forms every time they want to deposit a few dollars to their account. That is the kind of trade-off which must be made to keep the financial system working efficiently and in the best interests of all of its stakeholders. Yet there are other weaknesses in the current system that can and should be addressed. Money will inevitably flow to those institutions with the lowest defenses against money laundering. How many of our managers have turned away large, suspicious transactions only to watch the would-be customer disappear out the door, knowing that somewhere else close by the cash may be welcomed? And how many of our customer service people have had to deal with the anger of perfectly honest customers who resent being asked whether they got the cash and who can point to other institutions that don't require the same information? Clearly, Canada requires a more uniform and systematic approach to money laundering. For the most part, larger deposit-taking institutions have taken the required initiative. These are institutions with the business base to warrant large investments in anti-laundering procedures and staff education. Smaller institutions now have a responsibility to act and adopt existing systems to their own organizations. Moreover, our focus should no longer rest entirely on deposit-taking institutions. Money launderers can also focus on the purchase of other financial investments. Term annuities, for instance, or marketable securities. So the fight should be ordered, and all financial institutions and industries that deal extensively in cash should be brought in. A few weeks ago, there was an encouraging development on this front. The Honorable Gilles Luisel, Minister of State responsible for Finland's institutions, announced the formation of an advisory committee that draws together the financial community and various governments and government departments. Institutions represented on the committee include banks, trust companies, credit unions, and cases populaire, life insurance companies, and securities firms, as well as members of the currency exchange industry. I'm pleased to be one of the banking representatives on this committee. The committee's role is to look for new and better means of fighting money laundering. At our first meeting, every industry committee committed itself to maintaining adequate records of financial transactions to assist law enforcement authorities in the investigation of money laundering. For our part, the banks believe that these records should zero in specifically on cash, the currency of the drug trade. We still have to work out the details, the cash transaction level, be it $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, which will trigger the recording requirement, the precise matter of the information to be retained, the length of time the records are to be kept, the means through which law enforcement agencies will gain access, and the nature of the transactions to be recorded. So there is a lot of work to do, but this is a positive step. The banking industry today supports the initiative and believes it should be a legal requirement. It is a first step towards uniformity, and it will help ensure that criminals cannot shop the market for institutions with the lowest defenses.